Part of our Hyperlocal Bible General Election 2019, Chris Vince, who is a Labour councillor in Harlow, but he's standing in Hertford and Stortford, and a real use, you're somebody who often uses social media. What are the benefits of you using social media as a campaigner?
Well, I think for me, I guess I treat social media differently to some politicians. For me, it's just about showing people that I'm out there in the communities talking to residents. I think there's a cynicism towards politicians. In some cases, it's fair that we're not out there, we're not working hard, and we're not listening to their views. So it's just to show people that I am out, constantly campaigning, constantly talking to residents and listening to them, and hopefully trying to act on some of their concerns as well. So that's the way I treat it.
You often put, we've just discussed this before we've gone on the video here, is often put on, say, in Twitter, knocking on doors, lots of Labour voters. Are you going to be putting, if you're standing in a constituency with a Tory majority of 19,000, are you going to be putting, I've been in the village of Much Haddam, oh, they all hate me here?
Yeah, well, look, I'm an optimist, Michael, as you know. I always have been. I would say generally when I put that, it's true, and generally when I speak to residents, they're very, very positive. I was out in Hertford today, and I would say actually the majority of people that I spoke to were Labour voters. There were some that weren't Labour voters, and they were very honest about the fact they weren't Labour voters. Of course, we pick where we go. I'd imagine we're going to spend probably more time in Hertford than Much Haddam, although I have planned to get over there as well. But yeah, I'm an optimist, Michael, I suppose, is the honest answer, and I like to be optimistic about the conversations that I have.
You've stood as a Police and Crime Commissioner candidate, haven't you?
Yeah.
Is this your first time, just correct me, first time standing for a general election?
So I stood in Chelmsford in 2015 and in 2017, and it was a really enjoyable experience. And then we increased the Labour vote, quite significantly, actually. A lot of that, I'm realistic, it was down to the national picture, but I hope as well it was down to kind of some of the work we did as a local party that perhaps hadn't been done before. And I guess that's part of what's quite exciting about this constituency, is that although they've always been a Labour Party and they've always been campaigning, there's a real enthusiasm at the moment from the local party to build on that and get out there campaigning. And I'm never going to be a paper candidate. I'm going to be a candidate that's going to work, and having a local party like that is really good.
Is party discipline important online? And are there things you probably feel really disagree with, but online, etc., I've got to be disciplined here? Is that important?
Well, for me, it's more to do with kind of my role, job as a teacher. I have to be careful online. That's why generally everything I put online is just about what I'm doing, rather than sort of sharing opinion. Of course, I'm going to share the party's sort of pledges and things, because that's obviously important. But I think it's about just generally etiquette as well, I think, online as well. I'm a teacher, I hate swearing, so you'll never see a swear word on one of my tweets, because I think it's important. Yes, of course, there's a party message. We've got our pledges, and I think it would be, wrong to have a different line. But I'm a member of the Labour Party, I'm an activist in the Labour Party, and generally the pledges that the Labour Party has, I agree with, because obviously, it's never going to be a one-size-fits-all, but generally, the core messages of the Labour Party, I agree with. But yeah, I just think it's about general behaviour, and I think as well, I've written to the local press in Hertford and Stortford about this as well. I feel very strongly that as candidates, and I'll call on my fellow candidates as well to do this, that we should treat each other with respect.
Brilliant.
And behave well.
Thank you very much for your time.